Hi, we're in the field today. We're actually in the middle of a hunting trip, and today we're evaluating 1776 USA 9x19 lead-free target ammunition. Now, before we even get started, I have to explain something. Manufacturers frequently contact me asking to send me items for evaluation. Usually things that are relatively inexpensive, like the banana mag for your AK platform rifle and so on and so forth. Occasionally, someone will contact me offering to send me something that's a rather big ticket item like firearms. And usually I'll say, okay, go ahead, even though I know it's a prank, and it always has been. People say, we sent you a firearm. No, you didn't, except for when Elvis actually came to me in person and brought me the FK Bruno. Anybody offering to send me a firearm has always been a prank. So when I was contacted by somebody who claimed to represent 1776 ammo and offered to send me 1,000 rounds of 9x19 to test, I thought, yeah, sure you will. Okay, go ahead. Well, they did. Now, I want to make it clear that I have yet to fire a single shot of this ammunition. We're going to evaluate it today. But even without having fired it, I have to say, hats off to the people at 1776 for being willing to send me 1,000 rounds of ammunition to test. That means they must have a lot of confidence in their product. So that having been said, today we're going to test this for reliability, accuracy, power, and we're going to compare it to a couple of other types of 9x19 ammunition that I would consider typical target ammunition. And because we have enough ammunition to evaluate its reliability, we'll start with that. And the best way to do that is with a montage.
The hour's approaching to give it your best, and you've got to reach your prime. That's when you need to put yourself to the test and show us a passage of time. We're gonna need a montage. Ooh, it takes a montage. Show a lot of things happening at once. Remind everyone of what's going on. And with every shot, show a little improvement. To show it raw would take too long. That's called a montage. Girl, we want a montage. And anything if you want to go from just a beginner to a pro, you need a montage. Even Rocky had a montage. Always fade out in a montage. If you fade out, it seems.
So, using 4 different firearms, we fired 250 rounds of our 1776 ammunition. Total number of duds, 0. Total number of malfunctions, 1, but I'm pretty sure that was a shooter-caused malfunction. So in terms of reliability, it looks like our 1776 ammunition doing really well. Now let's see if we can test its accuracy. But before we do that, let me show you a close-up of what this ammunition looks like. On your right is Remington Green White Box 9x19 115 grain full metal jacket round nose. On your left is our 1776 9x19 90 grain lead-free projectile. Now it looks like a lead flat nose projectile. It is not. It's actually a very hard substance. When I try to scrape it with the knife, see, it does not leave a mark. If I try to use the sharp edge and whittle it, I can whittle off some. And it has a coating over some type of core. But this is a lead-free projectile, and this outer coating is pretty hard. We have a shoot and see target, and I have my Beretta 92FS loaded with Remington Green and White Box 9x19 115 grain full metal jacket round nose. Something I would consider a typical target ammunition. I'll shoot the target from 20 yards, see what kind of group I get, then we'll repeat that drill with our 1776 ammunition and see how the groups compare. So not a stellar group, but pretty good. Easily covered with one hand. Now we have a new shoot and see target set up. I'll shoot it from 20 yards with the 1776 lead-free ammunition. Let's see how the groups compare. And here's our group. and this one out here really is just me. Okay, that was a good group, and notice no shift in point of impact. That's really a plus. But this is so much better than the group I got with the Remington. Is it because the ammo is that much better, or was I just not shooting a very good group the first time? Let's put up a new target. I'll shoot another group with the Remington ammo and see if I can improve on the first group. And here's our group. And again, this one really is just me. So the first mediocre group with the Remington ammunition really was just me. But what we see here is that our 1776 ammunition is holding just as good a group as the Remington ammo does, and no point of impact shift. Let's try that with a different gun and see if we can get similar results. Now we have a new shoot and see setup. And Chuck, what pistol are you shooting?
It's a Taurus G3C.
Okay, and he has it loaded with the Remington green and white box 115 grain ammunition. He'll shoot a group, then repeat that with the 1776 ammunition, and let's see how the groups compare in his pistol. And here's our group. Now let's see if he can do any better with the 1776 ammo. And here's the group. Again, not bad at all. Obviously, this group is a lot better than what Chuck got with the Remington ammunition. So again, ammo, gun, or was he just shaky on his first group? Let's put up a new target, have him shoot another group with the Remington ammo. The group is fairly well centered, so not a major point of impact shift. But for Chuck and his pistol, it looks like the 1776 ammunition just did better. So let's do that same ammunition comparison with a carbine. I have my Beretta CX4 Storm loaded with the Remington green and white box ammunition. I'll shoot this splatter shot target from 30 yards, and let's see what kind of group I get. And that's not bad. Now we have a new splatter shot set up. I have the CX4 loaded with the 1776 90 grain projectile. I'll shoot this from 30 yards, and let's see how our groups compare. Now that's not impressive at all. We see not as good a group and a definite point of impact shift. This was bad enough that I wanted to confirm this. Off camera, I shot another target, got basically the same results. Now I've changed locations. We're on a range, not the range, but a range. And let's see how our 1776 ammunition stacks up against our other types of target ammo in terms of velocity. I have the chronograph set up at 7 yards. I have my Beretta 92FS loaded with Winchester white box 9x19 115 grain full metal jacket round nose. Let's see what kind of velocities I get with this. $11.65. $11.55. $11.33. $11.42. $11.44. $11.23. And $11.45. Let's try another type of ammo. And now let's try our Remington green and white box 9x19 115 grain full metal jacket round nose. $11.21. $11.02. $11.22. $10.94. $11.12. $11.47. $11.09. And $11.19. Now let's try our 1776 ammo. And now our 1776 ammunition. And remember, this is a 90 grain projectile, not 115. So we would expect a little higher velocities. $13.19. $13.15. $13.08. $13.07. $12.35. $13.04. $12.76. $13.13. And $13.12. Let's crunch the numbers. Well, I crunched the numbers, and here they are. And of course, it comes with the normal caveats that chronographs don't always agree with each other, and certain environmental factors like ambient temperature and elevation can affect chronograph results. And the results I got were with the pistol, with the Winchester ammunition, a mean velocity of 1,143, with the Remington 1,115. Very common in this target type of ammunition that the Remington is a little bit lower velocity than the Winchester. But with the 1776 ammunition, I got a mean velocity of 1298. That's 155 feet per second more than with the Winchester. Now, it is a 90 grain bullet, not 115 grain, but still, that's quite a bit more. Now, off camera, I repeated this using my Beretta CX4 Storm rifle, and the results I got were with the Winchester ammunition, a mean velocity of 1,335, with the Remington 1,268. But with the 1776 ammunition, 1,481. That's 146 feet per second more than with the Winchester. So the bottom line here is, of course, the 1776 ammo is a 90 grain bullet, not a 115 grain bullet. We would expect higher velocities. But 155 feet per second more with the pistol and 146 feet per second more with the rifle, in both cases, that's a lot more. Now, something to add. Remember that we're comparing the 1776 ammo with two types of 9mm ammo that I would consider very common target ammunitions. When it came to the accuracy comparison, I only compared the 1776 with the Remington because I consider the Remington to be a little more accurate than the Winchester ammunition. When it comes to the comparison of power, we include the Winchester because I consider it to be more powerful than the Remington ammunition, and we saw that it was. So we want to make the comparison more difficult for the 1776 ammo. And what we saw was, even doing that, it performed very well. In terms of accuracy, it seemed to be completely equal with the Remington ammunition, arguably better, with both of the handguns we used. And we saw no significant point of impact shift. Now, with the CX4 Storm Rifle, we saw a loss of accuracy and a point of impact shift. It's my experience that when it comes to PCCs, regardless of caliber, when you change ammunitions, especially if there's a significant change in projectile weight, you get a significant shift in point of impact, and that's what we saw. But off camera, we repeated that process using a high point 9mm carbine, and we saw the difference between the Remington and the 1776 ammunition was none in terms of point of impact. So that was really impressive. The results you get will depend on your firearm choices. Now, when it comes to power, remember, of course, the 1776 ammo is a 90-grain projectile. We would expect to see higher velocities, but even at that, we got a lot higher velocities. They were very impressive. Also impressive that we're getting velocities that high out of a 9x19 without making our group any bigger. Now, at the beginning of the presentation, we fired 250 rounds out of our various firearms just to test the 1776 ammo for reliability. Well, with that and all the ammunition we've shot since, and doing the chronograph analysis and shooting the targets, total number of malfunctions with the 1776 ammunition has been 1, and I'm pretty sure that was a shooter-caused malfunction. Also, with all the ammunition I fired, there didn't really seem to be a whole lot more residue with that ammo than there was with either of the others. It seems to burn fairly clean. So, all the way through, it looks like our 1776 ammunition is getting pretty good marks. Now, one other thing. I don't like to talk about the specifics of price because it can change so much from one place to another, and these days can change so much from one week to the next. However, I did look at some online prices, and when it comes to price, the 1776 ammunition seemed to compare very favorably with the Remington and the Winchester, in some places a noticeably lower price. So it looks like all around the 1776 ammo is getting good marks. But bottom line, when it comes to just shooting targets, remember it's just target ammunition. Is the 1776 ammunition the right ammo for me? I'm going to say that with my Beretta CX4 Storm, no. With every other 9mm firearm that I have, yes. Is it the right ammo for you? You be the judge. So as always, don't try this at home on what you call a professional, and thanks for watching the 1776 9x19 lead-free ammunition evaluation video.